Somewhere in your house, there is probably an old laptop in a drawer. Look at the bottom corner and you will find a small blue sticker, the glue gone yellow. 2 words, Intel inside. For 30 years, it was the most trusted promise in technology, and it came with a sound. A soft 4-note chime you would know the instant you heard it. You never had to know what was inside your computer. The sticker did the thinking for you. At its peak, Intel built the brain inside 9 out of every 10 personal computers on Earth. Today, it is cutting more than 25,000 jobs and fighting to reclaim its place. While a company it long dismissed as a niche maker of gaming graphics chips, NVIDIA, is now worth more than Intel has ever been. The graphics chip company became the most valuable business in the world. So here's the question that should stop you cold. Intel ruled the computer age, and then, almost overnight, it missed 3 of the biggest computing revolutions of the next 20 years. Smartphones, artificial intelligence, and the making of the chips themselves. How does the company that helped build the future miss it 3 times in a row? Not one mistake, 3. Each one bigger than the last. Subscribe and stay to the end, because the same trap is closing on other giants right now. And keep that little blue sticker in mind. Intel climbed higher than anyone. It was born in 1968, founded by Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore. Moore noticed that the power of a chip kept doubling year after year. People called it Moore's Law, Intel's promise that next year we go faster. But Intel did not start out making the brains of computers. It started out making memory. And by the early 1980s, that business was dying, drowned by cheaper factories in Japan. So in 1985, Gordon Moore and a fierce Hungarian immigrant named Andy Grove made one of the bravest decisions in business history. Grove asked what a new leader would do if the board fired them both. Moore said he would get us out of memory. So they did it themselves. They killed the business Intel was built on, laid off 1/3 of the company, and bet everything on a product they had invented almost by accident, the microprocessor. Grove ran Intel on fear. He even wrote a book whose title was a warning to his own people. Only the paranoid survive. And it worked beyond anyone's dreams. When the personal computer conquered the world, Intel was inside it. In 1991 came that little blue sticker, sold straight to you, the person who would never open the case. By the year 2000, Intel was king. 9 out of 10 personal computers, almost every server online. But at the very peak, the fear that built the company quietly began to fade. The first revolution arrived in a phone. Around 2006, Apple came to Intel. Steve Jobs was building something secret, and he wanted Intel to make its chip. Intel's boss, Paul Otellini, ran the numbers. Apple would pay a certain price and, in his words, not a nickel more, just below what Intel thought it would cost. Nobody knew what the iPhone would become, so Intel said no. Years later, Otellini admitted it. So many times in my career, he said, I made decisions with my gut, and I should have followed my gut. But missing the iPhone was not the disaster. It was the warning. When the world moved into your pocket, Intel was almost nowhere to be found. The chips came from a rival design called ARM. Intel missed the phone. That alone should have been enough. It wasn't. Because the next thing it lost was even worse, the one thing Intel had always done best, building the chips. For decades, Intel made the most advanced silicon on Earth, on its own schedule. And then it got stuck. Year after year, Intel promised to shrink its transistors to the next level, and failed. A quiet company in Taiwan called TSMC kept its promises and sailed right past. And in 2020 came the deepest cut. Apple threw Intel out completely and designed its own chips, built in Taiwan. The king of American chipmaking had lost its crown to a factory an ocean away. And if that sounds like the end, it wasn't. Because the biggest revolution of all had not even begun. Artificial intelligence. When it arrived, it did not run on Intel. It ran on graphics chips, made by NVIDIA, the same graphics chip company Intel had long treated as a niche business. As the world poured its fortune into artificial intelligence, NVIDIA became the most valuable business on the planet, and Intel watched from the outside. 3 revolutions: mobile, manufacturing, and artificial intelligence. 3 futures, and Intel missed every single one. So how does that happen to the smartest company in the room? Intel's greatest strength had become its greatest weakness. Every quarter, the old business printed billions of dollars, and walking away from it sounded insane until it wasn't. But the company that reinvented itself overnight in 1985 could no longer imagine doing it again. The paranoid company had finally stopped being afraid. But do not mistake this for a funeral. Intel is not gone. Right now, it is in the fight of its life. A new leader, tens of thousands of jobs cut, billions bet on a comeback, and new factories on American soil. Out in Oregon, the same kind of engineers who once saved this company in 1985 are living through it again. Some clearing out their desks, some staying to build the thing that might save it. It could still work. Giants have clawed their way back before. But for now, the crown is gone. So find that old laptop and look at the corner one more time. The blue sticker is still there, half peeled, the glue gone yellow. Andy Grove was right. Only the paranoid survive, and Intel showed the world what happens to the ones who forget. That little blue sticker promised the future was inside. The tragedy is that, in the end, the future was not inside Intel anymore. If you remember that chime, that sticker, the beige tower that ran your first computer, tell me about it in the comments. I read them. And if you want more stories like this one, where the giant is brought down not by an enemy, but by the very thing that made it great, subscribe and stay with me. There are a lot more giants out there with a story just like this.